The goal of our aesthetics there is to leave an impression on the visitors that come to Oklahoma and to allow the citizens of Oklahoma to be proud of their transportation system. This was our first real bridge and roadway project that we did any aesthetics on at all. This one was done in 2003 on I-235 in Oklahoma City. It was designed by our design consultant, so they actually did the graphics on this. Prior to this project, all we really utilized in Oklahoma was standard form liners. Fractured fin was kind of our go-to form liner for our piers and walls. And so this was basically just dropped onto a fractured fin finish, and this was actually our first aesthetics project of any detail. In 2004, the Senate passed and the governor signed Senate Bill 1347. And what that did was to establish the arts and public places legislation in Oklahoma, which mandated that 1.5% of projects capped at $500,000 would be spent on art in those projects. Now, ODOT was exempted from that program, but what it really did as they started to incorporate more art into building projects, schools, and things like that in Oklahoma, it raised the awareness. So what we did is we actually slipped in at that same time and decided that we were going to start our aesthetic program kind of under the cover, if you will, of the Arts and Public Places program. 2014, jump ahead a little bit, is the first time that we actually contracted ourselves directly with an artist, and we contracted with CDR. We have two different contracts that we currently have in place. One is a demand services contract for the design of the aesthetics on our projects. The second one is we actually tasked specifically for the creation of a manual that we use in Oklahoma to guide us on where we place them, how we choose it, the things that we do, how to inventory, maintain. We have a warehouse that we keep our form liners in now. We have an inventory system, we have a rating scale, and we have a means to be able to charge the contractors for damages that they inflict on our form liners. You'll see a common theme, and one of the things that we take great pride in and that we talked about a lot in Oklahoma was the ability to reuse our form liners. So the P shield is essentially the same. It was modified slightly due to a change in the pier. And this project, we added aesthetics very, very late in the game. So we used the same railing form liners, we used the same P shield, slightly modified to fit the pier, and we added some staining of the slope walls on this one. And once again, the very simple but unique use of the form liners in the MSE walls. And you can change those to make a jillion different patterns and things with the form liners that we have in our inventory. Every time we reuse those, the overall cost of those goes down. So we have projects that we've used the same form liners on, gosh, probably at least six to 10 times.
When two directors of a DOT, chief engineer, district engineers, community members, mayors, directors of operations get together and they say, this is bringing value to our city, especially people that are very mindful about spending monies. It's something that people like us who are have devoted much of our lives to infrastructure, pay attention to. I can speak to, and what I will speak to now is what CDR does, Creative Design Resolutions, because we are the premier company that incorporates aesthetics into infrastructure. We've worked for a quarter of all the DOTs in the country, and we've done this for nearly 25 years. I'm sure there are others that do it, so I'm going to talk generically, but I'll speak to it in how we do our business, because I think this might be very informative. This is not aesthetics that just are going to, as you've heard said, put lipstick on a pig. These aesthetics specifically are built to be from your community. They are contextually of this place. If you moved it to somewhere else, it wouldn't fit anymore. It tells a story. What we say at CDR is that we're storytellers of the clients we work for. For all of you who think that this is going to be a very expensive proposition, all this stuff you're seeing, you're mistaken. We are designing these things to be repurposed, to be modular. Every design you see here, every design we make is a modular design, meaning It doesn't have to just be used this one time, this one way, and repeated and repeated and repeated. In fact, it can be reconfigured, reoriented, combined with other designs to create the story of your state. This is the key as you're looking at this. Director Ridley and I came up with this idea. Think about the normal means and methods and business practices of your contractors. They will buy the cheapest form liner they can to do that fractured fin on the wall. You get 2 or 3 pours out of it. They'll throw it away, move down, get another liner, et cetera, down the line. All that adds up. Versus we specify urethane liners. And urethane liners, you can get 50 to 100 usages out of it. So a little more investment up front, but it exceeds the first project. They warehouse it. They account for it. They qualify it and quantify it. They check it in and out like library books. Makes the next project thousands of dollars cheaper, makes the next project thousands of dollars cheaper, and if the contract doesn't take good care of it, they have to replace it. We changed the way, slightly, the way the state contracts for these projects. Nothing that you will see here delays a project or creates a cost overrun. We've been doing this for nearly 25 years. We have never once been late, and we have never once been over budget. You have to cast your concrete against something. In every square yard of concrete, one of the aggregate line items, the cost of making a square yard of concrete is a form liner. Aggregate, water, cement, labor, forms, form liner. It's already in your budget. It's how you use that money and how it can serve you later. What I'm here to just complete this session about is talking about modularity. Because with modularity, you can take a configuration of one thing, and if you just look at it differently, you can then reconfigure it and create something else. What's your state tree? They said the loblolly pine. I said, okay, this is what I can do for you. And I showed them this. So that asymmetrical looking forest is made up of 5 liners only. That's that one. Remember, I can rotate them. That one, that one. See? Like that. Right? It doesn't look like that at first blush, does it?